Hi everyone, and welcome to our fourth episode of Trek China. Now I've got something very simple for you today. It's about 7:30 in the morning and we're in a place called Sanya in the southern tip of Hainan province, and I've been told like about 300 meters that way we have got Yalong Bay, and that's one of the best beaches in the whole province. Alright, so I've been told by the concierge that the beach is in this direction and that it's about 300 meters. He said, you got to go down the right path, otherwise it's a kind of a very circuitous route, but never mind. We are going to just follow my instincts, and hopefully we can get there in a few moments. And I really want to show you what the beaches are like on this beautiful island. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experiences in Hainan because I've been here so many times over the years. I also want to tell you a little bit about the trip I am on. I'm on a 5-day tour of Hainan organised by the Hainan International Media Center. I will tell you a little bit about them and what we've been doing so far. And then finally, we always want to talk about something, don't we? So what I want to do is, since the weather is so fantastic, we're nearly in December, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the climate in China, particularly in Chongqing, and then when it comes to winter, why this is such a fantastic place to go. Okay, so I'm on a trip organised for international media representatives all over China and also social media personalities. And this is a 5-day tour. Although I arrived here on Sunday evening, that was November the 26th. We're going to be staying in Sanya for 2 nights. We've already had 1 night. So we're going to go around some places today and then come back kind of in the late evening, maybe like 8 p.m. Right, things are looking up. We've got a little path here. We're going to walk over that and then we're going to be on the beach. And I can already hear the sound of the waves, and that's just absolutely beautiful. Now, isn't this stunning, man? Look at this. Wow. And look at that pier, that's beautiful. And I just love these gentle waves, and got the sunlight kind of glistening off the water surface. I'm going to kick off these shoes because one thing I really love doing is just walking along this beach with your feet in the water. Right, so Hainan is a pretty big island, but you have the north side, you have the eastern side, the southern side, and of course the western one, and they're all a little bit different in a way, maybe because of the geography. The beaches on the northern side are still fine, but it's maybe not quite so good for swimming. But the water on that side of the island is a little bit colder, maybe a little bit more turbid. So if you really want the clear waters, water that's a little bit warmer than the southern end of the island is really where you want to go. On the eastern side, I would say that's where you get the really big waves, so the people who are great at surfing. I actually saw on my second night on this tour, we stayed in a place called Chongqing, and we walked down to the beach, and actually the waves were really big. And if you kind of go out to the sea, it's the open ocean. If you're a strong swimmer and all that, I suppose it's not a big problem, but if you're really young, you're not that great at swimming, you're a little bit weak, then I suppose it could be a little bit dangerous. But everybody I know who are really avid about surfing, that's kind of the place to go if you want the rough waves. And I suppose I can do a little comparison for you of these beaches in Sanya. But first I'm just going to quickly show you some of the gear they have here. We've got these little speed boats, we've got the jet skis over there. I've done a lot of jet skiing even in Chongqing, but it still kind of terrifies me, So, and this as well, this is even worse, the banana boats. I could tell you I haven't done banana boating for like 20 years, and my last experience of them was in a place called Gran Canaria, and that was actually my first and last experience of banana boating. I was amazed at how expensive these are. I did some jet skiing for a video this summer, at a place called Mingyue Lake in Chongqing. And the instructors were telling me that a lot of the jet skis they were using were like 200,000 yuan. I do remember my first trip here, which was all the way back in 2004. This is one of the places we came from, Dadonghai on the bus, and we spent a whole day here and we did play in the sea. And yeah, this place I always thought was very beautiful, and I have to say, this probably has the best beach in Sanya even still. Because over the years there's been like a new place, a new beach that has been developed, and that's called the Haitang one. And Haitang is begonia, like that kind of flower. And that beach is much longer than this one. I mean, I suppose this one maybe goes on for, it's kind of hard for me to say, maybe 2-3 kilometers at most in that direction. And although the beach is okay, you know, it's got some fantastic, you know, 5-star hotels like the Atlantis and all that. But, you know, the beach is a bit narrower. I mean, this one is really wide, you know, lots of space. If you go to Dadonghai, which is closer to Sanya city, you get a bigger choice of more reasonably priced hotels. And you will also find it's a lot more lively. You know, you see lots more people walking around. You know, you have lots of restaurants, you know, coffee shops, like entertainment complexes. I remember when I came here, like a year or two after I graduated. You know, this was when I was still working in ESL. We found these like little guest houses where we could even stay for like 50 yuan a night. And even though the room was very small, it was still quite cozy and clean and really close to the beach. And the beach itself, I would say it's not as clean as this one. This beach in Yalong Bay is absolutely spotless. And then I suppose the final one where people sometimes stay at is Sanya Bay, which is close to the airport, close-ish. Yeah, the beach is okay. I would just say though that the seawater is a lot more turbid. Maybe the beach itself is not so clean. But you do have these like little nice, you know, pathways that kind of separate the beach from the roadside. And of course, another advantage is that Sanya Bay has a lot of these, you know, 4-5-star hotels. But because of the location, it hasn't got like the prime beaches. But it actually, you can get some really good deals, maybe like 400-500 yuan a night. I do want to get back to the hotel room. We're going to pack some stuff because we've got to get on the coach at about 8:50. It's about 7:46. Right, so I think I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk back the other way. I can actually see some other young ladies from our tour group. Maybe you can go and say hello. We can see them in the background over there. Yeah, and then on the western side of the island, I suppose it's not so well developed for tourism. I can only give you one place that is really popular on the western side of Hainan, and that is Ocean Flower Island. And I think that was developed by the Chinese real estate developer Evergrande. And yeah, next to it they've got this, you know, huge entertainment complex like water parks, you know, hot springs, you know, theme parks, you know, everything basically. Do you have English names?
Yeah, my name is Claire.
Oh yes, yeah, Claire. Okay, so she works in Sichuan.
And Jade from Guizhou.
Jade from Guizhou.
Jesse from Yunnan.
Yeah, and I'm James from Chongqing. And yeah, we also got some lovely Russian ladies behind me.
Tanya from Russia.
Natalia from Russia.
I'm from Russia. Balina.
Balina. Okay, what do you think of it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm from Russia, but I'm living in Guizhou, Guiyang.
Oh, Guizhou. Okay, you're pretty close to Nubet.
我会说，我还是说中文。
Yeah, 也可以说中文。
这个地方就是很漂亮，我们有很多山、很多水，还有很多那个瀑布，真的太漂亮了。有机会还是值得来。
可以去贵州。
可以。
对，我也去过贵州。
啊，你去过了？
我对贵州也比较熟，我去了什么遵义啊、贵阳、玉田。
哦，可以啊，可以啊。
正安。
那你去的地方还挺多的。要不给你拍几张？
可以啊。Let's go there, take a photo. Alright, thank you.
要不加个你的信号？
好的，我给你报我的号码吧。
好嘞。
Well, what a pleasure. So I've got this beautiful lady asking me for my number. Well, my WeChat would be a bit more accurate. Yeah, okay, yeah, just send me a message or something. I'll add you a bit later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye. See you later. Yeah, well, we're getting on the same bus. I'll see you in an hour on the bus. And this trip has been a real pleasure. I suppose in the past I only knew a few people who were working at the international communication centres in other provinces. But on this trip, we actually have people from 20 provinces in China. Yeah, and I've made, so many friends here. And I think in the future, we're going to get more cooperation going. So we could do more live streams, more videos together in collaboration. But the seawater just feels like beautiful and warm now. If I had more time. Yeah, I probably would have brought my swimming trunks and I'd gone in for a swim. So there were some people, they won't mind me mentioning their name, like, Yasmin von Roon. No, she has her TikTok account, and I think when she came to Chongqing earlier this year, some of her videos had tens of millions of views. One thing that I really appreciate about the tour they made for us is that it's not like a touristy thing. So, over the years I've visited, all of the tourist areas. Whether it's Ocean Flower Island, the Buddha with the 3 heads by the sea, Monkey Island, Wuzhou Island and all that. But really, we've been coming here to inspect the social and economic development of Hainan as a whole, and also the construction of the whole island as a free trade port. And there are a lot of places, a lot of malls on the island which are duty free. And yesterday I did a live stream with one of the hosts of the Hainan International Media Center called Lara. And yeah, I had a really good time, and we had a really good walk around the duty-free city in Sanya. Some of the places we've been to, I think our first stop was a place called the Jiangdong New Area in Haikou, which is the capital of the province on the northern side of the island. And in this new area, they've got things like, innovation zones, they've got these education zones with international schools, because, they want to attract, a lot of international talent to the island. So they took us to this exhibition hall, and we had, all of the diagrams, the maps, the promotional videos and all that. And it looks really good. I mean, it's still a relatively new area. A lot of the buildings are still under construction. But yeah, for me, it is looking really good. After that, we went to this kind of energy building. You'll be able to see on the clip, but it's like one of the biggest, prefabricated buildings on the island. And we went up to the top, and it feels like an eco house. We have a lot of these gardens, and on every floor. And then on the top, we had this really good viewing gallery, all around, Haikou and over the sea. Then we went to Chongqing, and the place we visited there was called the Bo'ao Lecheng Guoji Yiliao Luyou Xianxing Qu. Okay, so that was like a pilot zone for medical tourism. So it's a big complex. It has about 24 medical institutions at the moment, with more coming along, and they offer everything there for medical tourists. Hainan is, of course, a perfect place for that because of the environment and the fantastic weather, particularly in the winter. Yeah, and they treat people, do rehabilitation, well-being, also like research, stuff like that. Yeah, so people can come here from all over China and even worldwide. And they were saying that by the year 2030, they kind of want to reach a world-class level. After that, we went to Lingshui and a place called Liyan Guoji Jiaoyu. So it's kind of like an international education place. And it's kind of up and coming, but they've got a lot of schools there. Some of them are from other countries. I saw a building set up for Coventry University. I think some of these places might even have Harrow there, like a branch school which they've set up on the island. And loads of shared facilities, like great canteens, I saw like a big, football pitch up there. Yeah, so it really kind of has everything you need. Then finally, the last point I want to make is about the climate here and in Chongqing. Because the main thing for me is that I like, sunshine and maybe a bit of, blue sky, every now and then. But I know you don't necessarily get that all the time in Chongqing, but in a way, I mean, I always try to see the positive side of things, and in my case, if you don't get, really nice weather days all of the time in Chongqing, then when that time does come around, it kind of makes you cherish that a little bit more. Yeah, so when we get some blue sky and all that, I really love to go out, do a trek, walk around the park, climb up the local mountain. When it comes to the seasons in Chongqing, people say that the springtime and autumns are like really, really short. Literally in the space of a month, which has happened, many years in my experience, is that maybe around, April time, early April, the weather is still maybe a bit cold and dreary, drizzly, grey. But then in the space of a month, the temperatures really shoot up and you can kind of go into summer. Yeah, almost in a flash. But yeah, traditionally, I would say from around, November through to about March, the weather can be a bit of a drag in Chongqing. And because of that reason, one of the best ways to kind of cheer yourself up if you want to see some sunshine is to really get on the plane and come here to Hainan province. And another option as well, which maybe in the future we'll get a chance to do a trek there, is another favourite of mine called Xishuangbanna, which is kind of on the border with Laos in Yunnan province. But if you can go there, you can really enjoy the climate, and in the winter, you're going to get blue skies every day because it's kind of upon a mountain plateau. I think the elevation is like about 2,000 meters or something like that. But yeah, even in the winter, you're going to get lots of blue skies, sunshine. It's going to be very warm. You have all the coconuts and all that, and you have the rainforests. So that's a really beautiful place to go. And hopefully, if you subscribe in large enough numbers, I hope one day I can take you there myself. Also, I can tell you that my mother-in-law from Chongqing, she also has like an apartment in Lingao County. So every year during the winter, she normally goes there around this time, and she'll stay until after the Chinese New Year. And the weather in the northern side of the island is not quite as reliable. During the winter months, in Haikou, you do get days where it can be a bit cold and windy, a lot of rain. But if you want somewhere that's going to be reliable, then you really want to come down to the southern side of the island in Sanya. This is where it's kind of tropical all year round, including the winter. Yeah, and then I can tell you that I first came to Hainan in 2004. By that time, I'd been in China for around a year. Then I went on a little summer holiday trip. Went to Guiyang and Guilin, Nanning, Beihai, and I travelled to Haikou on the ferry, just as a foot passenger from Beihai to Haikou. I think that took about 12 hours. Even though at that time, even like Sanya was a bit underdeveloped, but my first impression was like, wow. Because, in China, my impressions of China in the past was, we have Beijing and Shanghai, the Great Wall and all that, but I never imagined, they had like a tropical paradise island. And really, I just fell in love with, Hainan from the word go, kind of like Chongqing. In recent years, they've developed a term for people who just come here for the winter months, and they call them like honiao, like migratory birds. And, now the economy is developing and it's diversifying a lot. They don't really want to have that so much. And they kind of made the rules for establishing your household here a little bit more difficult. And even buying some properties, I think, you have to stay here for X number of years and have a stable job here and all that. But my mother-in-law kind of bought her apartment, just before the cut-off point. But, if you still want to buy property here, I still think, there are some options available. It's just not quite as easy as it was in the past. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode of Trek China. I suppose it's not really a mountain trek or a trail or anything like that, but I suppose to bring you a little bit more variety and also take advantage of this trip I'm having in Hainan, I really wanted to show you one of my favourite places in China. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. If I get the chance, I'll maybe show you another part of the island, particularly Wuzhishan, like the mountain, like rainforest area. I don't know if I'll get the chance or not, but I'll do my best. Yeah, and then I'll be back in Chongqing at the weekend, and in the near future, I'm going to go to another place and we're going to talk about another interesting topic about life in China. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.